For about 10 years, one of the most popular places on the entire internet was a snowy island full of cartoon penguins. Millions of kids grew up there. They waddled around, threw snowballs, adopted little fuzzy pets, and learned the unwritten rules of the internet without ever seeing anything scary. Disney paid up to $700 million to own it. And then, in the spring of 2017, they switched it off. This is the story of Club Penguin and the kids who refused to let it die. It begins with a man who wanted to build somewhere safe. His name is Lance Priebe, a developer in Kelowna, Canada, who'd been tinkering for years with little online worlds full of cartoon penguins. Together with Lane Merrifield and Dave Crisco, under a studio called New Horizon Interactive, he set out to make a virtual playground a parent could actually trust. No creeps, no nasty surprises. On the 24th of October 2005, Club Penguin opened its doors. And what was it? You were a little round penguin. You waddled around a snowy island, you slid down hills, you played mini-games to earn coins, and you spent those coins on iglas and puffles, tiny fuzzy pets that became the whole point for a lot of people. The chat was locked down tight, filtered, moderated, with a mode where you could only pick from pre-approved phrases. It was free to play, with a paid membership for the good stuff. It was, deliberately, the gentlest corner of the internet. That gentleness turned out to be worth a fortune. Because parents trusted it, kids flooded in, and word spread across playgrounds faster than any ad ever could. Within a couple of years, Club Penguin was one of the biggest children's websites on the planet, with millions of penguins waddling around at once. And that is the kind of number that makes a very large company pick up the phone. In August 2007, Disney bought Club Penguin. The deal was $350 million up front, with up to another $350 million on top if it kept hitting its targets, potentially $700 million, for a game about penguins. The founders stayed on. The island became a Disney property, and for a while, it only got bigger. These were the golden years. Pufflescaping with your pets, the famous rumor that if enough penguins stood on one side of the iceberg, you could tip it over. Which you couldn't, though a generation tried, right up until Disney finally let it happen on the very last day. Secret agent missions, mascots like Rockhopper sailing in, and Antarctic, and the dance-battling Cadence. Over its lifetime, hundreds of millions of accounts were created. For a huge number of people, this was the first place the internet ever felt like home. But the internet moved. Phones arrived. Apps arrived. The kids who'd grown up on Club Penguin grew up. And the new kids were somewhere else. The island that used to be packed started to feel a little empty, the same way every online world eventually does. And inside Disney, the penguins were no longer the priority. So Disney made the call. In early 2017, they announced that Club Penguin was closing to be replaced by a phone app called Club Penguin Island. On the 30th of March 2017, 2 months after the announcement, the original servers shut down for good. Penguins gathered in their thousands to say goodbye, standing together as the lights went out. And the replacement? Club Penguin Island never caught on. Disney quietly shut that down too, less than 2 years later. And that normally would be the end. The company owns the thing, the company turns it off, the thing is gone. Except, you cannot actually delete a place that lives in millions of memories, so the fans rebuilt it. Using old files, archived art, and sheer obsessive recall, they created unofficial copies called Club Penguin private servers, and one of them, Club Penguin Rewritten, brought the whole island back, for free, run by volunteers. Disney was not delighted. The lawyers came, servers were told to shut down. Some did, some reappeared under new names. It turned into a slow game of whack-a-mole across the internet. And still the fan versions grew. Club Penguin Rewritten alone signed up millions of accounts of its own. A dead game kept alive entirely by the people who'd loved it. Then it got serious. In 2022, police in the UK raided Club Penguin Rewritten over copyright, and the most popular revival of all switched off, this time for good. The most devoted act of preservation on the whole island got the most serious response. File that under, be careful how hard you love a thing that someone else owns. So, where does that leave the penguins? The original island is gone, the biggest revival is gone, and yet, if you go looking right now, you'll still find little unofficial servers where penguins waddle and throw snowballs, exactly like it's 2009. Club Penguin was a generation's first home on the internet. And it turns out that when the company finally pressed quit, a whole lot of people just kept pressing continue.
If you want more stories behind the games you grew up on, you know what to press. Hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.